Over 4,000 years ago, long before the pyramids rose in Egypt, a man named Enmebaragesi ruled the ancient city of Kish. His name is etched not only in the Sumerian King List, but also in the very soil of history, making him the first Sumerian king ever confirmed by archaeology. But who was he really? A legendary warrior king? Or a forgotten leader lost in the shifting sands of time? Today, we uncover the truth buried beneath the ruins. The world before Enmebaragesi to understand Enmebaragesi's place in history. We first need to step back into a time when the world was still young. Around 2600 BCE, Mesopotamia, the land between the rivers, was a cradle of innovation, where city-states like Uruk and Kish rose from fertile plains and thrived along the Tigris and Euphrates. This was an age without empires as we know them today. Instead, independent cities, each with its own ruler, religion, and ambitions, competed for power and survival. Kish, the city in Enmebaragesi, would one day rule, held a unique status. In Sumerian tradition, kingship was believed to be a divine gift handed down from the gods, and according to the ancient Sumerian King List, Kish was the first city to receive this sacred authority after a great flood. A flood remembered not only in Sumerian myths, but echoed in legends across cultures. The people of this time were building the foundations of civilization, inventing writing, organizing armies, crafting laws, and erecting temples that touched the sky. But life was far from peaceful. Warfare between city-states was frequent, driven by the struggle for land, water, and divine favor. It was in this charged, competitive atmosphere that Enmebaragesi emerged, a leader whose reign would mark a turning point between myth and recorded history. Archaeologists and historians agree on one remarkable fact. While many kings from the early Sumerian records remain legendary, Enmebaragesi stands out because physical evidence, carved inscriptions, confirms that he truly existed. This makes him the earliest Sumerian ruler to step out of the shadow of myth and into the light of history. In the chapters ahead, we'll explore how this warrior king shaped Kish's destiny, his military campaigns, and why his name endured for millennia. But first, we must look at the archaeological discoveries that breathed life into his story. Unearthing the king, the archaeological breakthrough for centuries. Enmebaragesi was known only from a single mysterious source, the Sumerian King List. Written on ancient clay tablets, this list blends history and legend, naming kings who supposedly ruled for hundreds, even thousands of years. To many scholars in the early days of archaeology, Enmebaragesi seemed just another mythical figure. That changed in the 20th century. Archaeologists digging in the ancient city of Kafaja, northeast of Baghdad, uncovered fragments of stone vessels inscribed with the name Enmebaragesi, king of Kish. These weren't myths, they were tangible artifacts carved by human hands nearly 4,500 years ago. The inscriptions were in Sumerian cuneiform, the world's first written language, and they left little doubt. Enmebaragesi was real. This was more than just proof of a name. It was a bridge between two worlds, the world of legend, where kings fought mythical beasts, and the world of recorded history, where rulers commanded armies and built monuments. Enmebaragesi became the earliest ruler from Mesopotamia, confirmed through archaeology, pushing the boundary of verifiable history further back in time. Even more fascinating, the inscriptions hint at his achievements: victories in battle, temple constructions, and diplomatic influence. While the details are still debated, one thing is certain: His reign left a mark strong enough to survive thousands of years of erosion, invasion, and shifting sands. In the next chapter, we'll step into Enmebaragesi's Kish, a city of temples, bustling markets, and strategic importance to see the world he ruled over. Life in Kish, a city of power and devotion. To truly understand Enmebaragesi, we must step into the bustling streets of Kish during his reign. Kish was more than just a city. It was a hub of political power, religious devotion, and economic activity. Its location along the fertile plains of Mesopotamia made it a strategic and prosperous center, attracting traders, craftsmen, and warriors from surrounding regions. Temples dominated the skyline, dedicated to gods who Sumerians believed controlled every aspect of life, from the flow of rivers to the outcome of battles. The city's most prominent temple, likely dedicated to the god Enlil, was a symbol of divine authority, reinforcing the king's position as both a political and spiritual leader. Priests played an essential role in guiding decisions, interpreting omens, and legitimizing Enmebaragesi's rule. Everyday life in Kish was a mix of labor and innovation. Farmers worked the fertile lands along the Tigris and Euphrates, supplying food for the city and its armies. Artisans produced intricate jewelry, pottery, and weapons, while scribes recorded transactions, laws, and historical events using the newly invented cuneiform script. Markets were filled with goods from near and far, including grain, livestock, textiles, and even imported items from distant lands, reflecting Kish's growing influence. But Kish was not only a center of wealth and culture, it was also a city constantly preparing for war. Enmebaragesi's reign occurred during a time when city-states frequently clashed over territory, water, and resources. Armies were organized, weapons forged, and strategic alliances formed. Leadership was tested not just by diplomacy, but on the battlefield, where victories could elevate a king's legacy and defeats could erase it. In this vibrant yet perilous world, Enmebaragesi emerged as a ruler whose political skill, military strategy, and connection to the divine set him apart. He was not merely a name on a list. He was a living force shaping the destiny of Kish and, indirectly, the future of Sumer. In the next chapter, we will explore Enmebaragesi's military campaigns and how he expanded Kish's influence, revealing why he was remembered as a warrior king. Enmebaragesi, the warrior king of Kish. Enmebaragesi's reign is remembered not only for its historical significance, but also for his prowess as a warrior king. In the turbulent landscape of early Sumer city-states were in constant conflict over fertile land, water access, and trade routes. Victory in battle was essential to maintain power, secure resources, and demonstrate divine favor. Ancient texts and inscriptions suggest that Enmebaragesi led campaigns beyond Kish's immediate territory, subduing neighboring cities and expanding his influence. His name appears in records linked to conquests, hinting at his ability to unify people under his rule while enforcing order in a competitive region. Scholars believe his military success was one reason his reign was commemorated both in legend and in inscriptions. But Enmebaragesi's achievements were not limited to warfare. He invested in building projects, including temples and administrative structures, consolidating his authority and demonstrating a sophisticated approach to governance. By strengthening Kish internally while projecting power externally, he set a precedent for later Sumerian kings, balancing force with administration, faith with politics. Interestingly, Enmebaragesi's campaigns may have influenced the Sumerian concept of kingship itself. The King List often emphasizes divine sanction and military prowess, and his reign stands as one of the earliest examples of a ruler whose legitimacy depended on both battlefield victories and alignment with the gods. Through his combination of strategy, leadership, and piety, Enmebaragesi left an enduring legacy. He became a model of kingship in the eyes of later generations, bridging myth and history and carving a place in the record that few rulers of his era can claim. In the next chapter, we will examine how Enmebaragesi's reign influenced the future of Sumerian civilization, and why his name continues to be remembered thousands of years later. Legacy of Enmebaragesi. Enmebaragesi's reign marked a turning point in Sumerian history. As the first king confirmed by archaeology, he bridged the gap between myth and reality, showing that the legendary figures of the Sumerian King List had roots in actual events. His military victories, temple constructions, and administrative reforms strengthened Kish, setting a standard for future rulers. More importantly, his existence confirmed that early city-states were not just stories. They were real centers of culture, politics, and innovation. Thousands of years later, Enmebaragesi remains a symbol of leadership, resilience, and the enduring human desire to leave a mark on history. Through him, we glimpse the early world of Sumer, a world of ambition, faith, and the birth of civilization itself. Enmebaragesi's story reminds us that history isn't just a collection of myths. It's built on real people, real cities, and real achievements that shaped our world. From his victories on the battlefield to his influence over Kish, his legacy has stood the test of time. If you found this journey into the first confirmed Sumerian king fascinating, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more history and science discoveries, and click the notification bell so you never miss an exploration of our ancient past. Share your thoughts in the comments. Which part of Enmebaragesi's story surprised you the most? Let's uncover history together, one lost civilization at a time.